Ville, Edge Villa near Yockleton. 16 years ago, we came here to a blank 2-acre canvas of sandy loam. A kind farming neighbour gave us 40 tons of muck, and so we made a start. We started by putting in rabbit fencing, all the trees, hedges, then the herbaceous, shrubs and herbaceous. I got fed up with storing lilies in the greenhouse every winter, so I've hung them all in the borders, cover them with a bit of mulch in the winter, and so far they seem to survive. All the borders are planted up with something in it for every season. At the moment it's a very dry August. We planted about 56 trees in the first 2 or 3 years, and really now there are too many, and we're starting to remove some because they're destroying some nicer specimens. This is a failed wildflower patch which has now been almost totally taken over by the corncockle. Later flowers of the season beginning to take over. Hydrangea Annabelle, Monarda Mohawk, Philiptrum Delavei. This is my husband's retirement home, filled with produce this time of year, with tomatoes ripening, some wonderful ones grown from seed from a French friend, cucumbers and peppers, aubergines. One of the first things we did was create a vegetable plot, because we've always grown our own vegetables wherever we've lived. And here we've been lucky with the soil and the free muck. The cabbages are covered with netting that scaffolders discard at the end of each job, and that you sew it together and that stops the cabbage white butterfly going in, so you don't have to spray them. Then we have potatoes. The rose over the arch in here is Ghislaine de Feligonde, which, if you deadhead it, flowers for about 4 or 5 months a year. Asparagus and espaliered pears, onions, parsnips, beetroot, leeks, everything you need. Some fruiting raspberries, which the blackbirds leave alone if you're lucky. 16 years ago we planted a double row of box, which for 10 years I cut by hand. But unfortunately I then let somebody cut it with a machine, and about 3 weeks later the box blight set in. And the whole line of box, double line of box, looked like that. I leave this one to show people what to do, what you can do. Then one year we went to visit Abbotsford in Berwick, home of Sir Walter Scott, and they'd had the same problem. The gardeners told me they chop out all the dead in the middle and clear it all up, all the debris, and feed it, and the box will regenerate slowly. So I tried that. It's very time consuming and tedious. You have to sit with a pair of secateurs, and chop out the middle. Then on a very dry day when it's safe, I hoover the whole thing. Top, bottom, sides, underneath, get rid of all the debris, then feed the box. So take cuttings from another part of the garden where there isn't box blight, in case I need to replace it. The more curved shapes don't get it so easily, and that does seem to be the case a little, although this one had a large hole in it for a while at the bottom. But 20 wrens lived in it for about the whole of the winter, which was a bonus. I discovered that it gets it at the same time as potatoes get potato blight. So it's obviously the same conditions, warm and wet, which helps bring it on. I also used to boast a bit in a garden lecture that the variegated box didn't get it so easily, but one year it did. But it recovers much more quickly than the ordinary. It's almost back to normal. Slight gaps in the middle, but that's no bad thing because it aerates it. On a chirpier note, there's still plenty to see in this dry August.